Started talking about the other types of capital. And with networking, what we're talking about is how we develop our social capital, our use, our intellectual capital, and our emotional capital, our emotional intelligence. Okay, so just to give you a little bit of background, and I'm delighted to be invited back by Bookie again. I've spoken with the network before. My background is very strongly in corporate, working in global IT, and I left that probably about 3.5 years ago now. So I was running multi-million-pound contracts and doing lots of running around and running big virtual teams, and for me, my purpose, my mission was about liberating people's potential. How do we help individuals, whether they're in the corporate world or outside, to play at their very best? And to that end, I decided to set up my business actually when I was expecting my first daughter. I was also running it alongside my main career, and I got a reputation for developing high growth parts of the business, so new areas of business, helping those businesses to grow within the corporate. I also then looked at that when I came outside. I started to apply that with the business owners that I was working with, but I believe in the power of communication and of networks. Like a true IT person, networks are powerful, and we're so globally connected now that we have an incredible opportunity before us to really make an impact. So I love what you're doing, taking your experience of UK customer service and taking that into new and emerging economies. So how can we all help everybody gain? Which is essentially what we do when we network. So what we're going to cover today is why are you networking? And what is a network anyway? People get intimidated by the word networking. And actually all it is about is building the right relationships with people. Where do you network? And some golden rules. And then how you will keep in touch and how you keep reviewing your network for relevance. People change. So why are you networking? You may be networking because you want to grow your business, you want to make sales. You may be looking for your next opportunity, so to get your next promotion, to move companies, or to create opportunities. If you have a mission in life, you will know that what you need is other people to support you in doing that. You cannot do it all alone, no matter how hard you try. You are going to need to work with others to do it. And building relationships with trusted connections, so knowing that you have a team that stand with you. They may not work in your organisation, but you know these people stand with you and behind you when you're going out to share your message. So you may be looking to network for one of the above reasons or all of the above reasons. So just take a moment, I see you all have notepads, and just reflect on your reasons why you're networking. What are you trying to achieve? How are you spending your time making purposeful connections? So once you understand your why and you connect this with your mission, you will then begin to understand what you are looking for in your network. And an example of this, I met with somebody this week that I met probably 6 months ago, and part of my mission is to educate people, to help, to inspire. What she brings to my network is the academic experience, the knowledge to be able to translate that into something that will have credentials, that will be certificated, so that people know the quality standard of what they're receiving. I could not do that alone, and it's purely through a chance conversation that this emerged. So understand the purpose and the potential of your connections. I firmly believe that people come into our lives at the right time for the right reasons. Paths will cross. So a network anyway is just simply a group or system of interconnected people or things. Now interestingly, I spent last weekend in Crete working with the European Sustainability Academy. the reason why is connected to the reason why I am here today, because those networks extend back. So back to my time, I was invited to chair the Women's Network in BT, and through doing that, I met two amazing ladies, Masvari Betty McConey and Sharon Jackson, who runs the European Sustainability Academy. Through my connection with Masvari, I met other people, which is where I met Bookie at an event, and this is how I was invited to then speak with her. And strangely, last week we were connecting with different international people, so people from India who are looking at sustainable architecture, so the ripples and the connections just from one chance meeting in, May 2013. It all goes right back to that one meeting. So we have interconnected people and things. And so here you can see the different types of networks, and actually the ideal is here where we're all connected, but actually each of those will bridge out to one of these types of networks. So 6 degrees of separation. You can find anybody you need if you ask the right questions and if you're specific about what you require. So networking, actually think of it differently if it's better for you to think of it as connection, emotional connection. So I want you to think now about your next 6 months, your goals, which we've just heard about. Who do you need in your network to help you to achieve those goals? It could be that you need somebody to help you with the finance side, with the accountancy side. It could be that you need people with design skills. It could be that you need somebody who's going to help you reflect your ideas and give you that mentoring, that advice to move forward. So think about what you would like to attract into your network in the next 6 months. And be specific. You may know exactly what you need. And networking is about being reciprocal. So we also need to think about what can we offer our network? What unique skills and talents do we have which we can share with others? It is about mutual exchange of value. Some of you will be familiar with the book The Go-Giver. You give value first. Always give value first. Always create value. ABC model. Always be creating value. And then I want you to think about all of the opportunities that you have to network. So we have clubs, we have communities like this that we are part of. We have our friends, we have our social groups. We may go to the gym. I find the best networking place actually for me is on the train. I commute in and out a lot, I travel a lot, and I do brilliant networking when I'm travelling. By being open, by being able to have conversations with people. So be open to opportunity. So golden rule number 1. Always be open. I think very good point. We are so disconnected now because we are absorbed in our smartphones. Mine at the moment is doing a great job of propping up the projector. But, step away from the smartphone. Observe the world around you. Observe the people around you. You never know who you are going to meet. Very early in my career, I met a fantastic American gentleman. He carried a notebook with him everywhere. And every single person he met, he dedicated 1 page to finding out about that person and writing about it. And that was one of my first introductions to networking and understanding how important this was, and it made a huge difference in my life and career. And he even made a page about me as a lowly apprentice at the time. Never make judgments, never assume, never presuppose because of how somebody's dressed, what context they're in. You don't know who they are, and you don't know who they know. And back to that point around customer service as well. Never make those assumptions and treat everybody as you expect to be treated. Golden rule number 3 is about building a connection. It is never transactional. It's never transactional. It is about genuinely finding, and this is why spending that time to understand your goals, getting clear on your purpose, clear on your mission, that means that you are coming to building connection in a way that is heart-led. And it's about building and maintaining relationships. So listening. As so many people I met, and they've been taught networking formally and how to stand up and give 30 seconds about them, that is not building connection. That is not how you maintain a relationship. It's not about constantly pitching. It is about understanding your mission first and having an organic conversation, which is two-way. Rule number 4, follow up. So we come to these events, we meet all of these wonderful people, we exchange details. I can tell you when I started networking, probably in 2009, the number of business cards people gave to me when I was going to events. How many of those people do you think took details and actually bothered to follow up? And actually this led me to my decision, I don't do business cards, because otherwise you end up with a pile of them. The people who want to connect will connect with you, you will find them, you will seek them out. But there's so much networking which I see, and it's a glorified business card exchange. That is not connection. But follow up meaningfully, know where and how. The best question you can ask is, how can I help you? Yes? Golden rule number 5, follow-up doesn't mean always being in somebody's eye line. Actually, sometimes it's also about giving space, and our connections, our many connections of loose ties. And this can really help you to build, but always be aware of those loose ties. Who's in your network? What are they doing? You know, just keep the check-in process going. And remember the details. Don't just make it about business. Make it about personal. Details matter because people matter. People need to feel valued. So always find out, always have the conversation. You know, do people have family? What do they enjoy doing? It's not all about just business. We need to have fun. And the people I do repeat business with, the people I like, they're people who make me laugh. They're people who share a sense of humour, that maybe understand the challenges that I go through day in, day out. And we speak honestly about those things. That's the power of network. When you sometimes, as an entrepreneur, you're on your own, it's really helpful to have those 4 or 5 people that you can pick the phone up to. Okay? Be genuinely interested in what the other person has to say. It is not about you. Learn to be humble in the spaces that you're in. Be discerning. Do due diligence on your connections, because actually the wrong person in your network can cause immense problems. We've all had the experience. We want to go through life being open-hearted and trusting, but we do need to keep our wits with us, and we do need to know when somebody is looking to exploit our network and exploit our connections. And I had personal experience of this probably about 2 years ago, deep and painful learning, which is why it's in here as rule number 8. Number 9 is to know who and what you are looking for. What do you need in your network? And for me, I knew that I needed more people that I found that I could trust, that I could have fun with, that I could have that social aspect with in my network, because things were very much about business and very transactional, and that was not in my vision for my life. So let's change it. So set your vision and know who and what. What are those people? You may not know their names, but you know the people you need. Golden Rule 10. Be genuinely generous. Give without expectation. Give because it's the right thing to do. Share your contacts freely. If you know somebody who can help somebody, make that connection for them. It's not just about trading, buying, selling. When you go through life like this, it comes back to you, and it comes back to you in abundance. And on personal branding, don't be afraid to be memorable. Don't be afraid to be different. I'm certainly going to remember your red socks. Yes?
I was thinking that.
Be memorable, be different. Be recognised. And be congruent. Be absolutely yourself. Yes? And don't be afraid to share what you can do, you know? Go and take a look at your LinkedIn profile and actually, and specifically for the women in the room, amp it up a bit. Because we often don't claim our skills. I found this when I was in the corporate world, and when I was looking at going for promotions, actually I had some fantastic mentors, they were men, and they said, look, you've got to put the numbers in this, you've done some fantastic things, own it, claim it. So I want each and every one of you to go and look at your LinkedIn profile and up the ante by 20%.
Okay.
Okay? On? Good girls. Super. Right. Because if people know what your talent is, they will think of you first. People have to know what you do. It's no good hiding in the corner and being a wallflower going, oh, well, if I'm really good at this, I hope somebody's going to notice me. It's not going to happen. Okay, so own your brilliance. So keeping in touch, many ways we can do this. So the loose ties, the outer network, social media, fantastic. I'm a very open networker. If you want to connect, do connect with me. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, I'm totally open. And I don't believe actually in putting those things of, oh, I'm going to make everything private. No, my life is my life. It's good to be transparent about these things, and it's too much hard work not to. Look at an email, personal email. So actually, an email is really helpful. And then sometimes pick up the phone, make a call. You see a friend is struggling on social media, pick up the phone, don't just send them a message. Do things in person, meet for coffee, go and, you know, make that time, arrange to go to networking events together, go and listen to a talk. You can educate and still have fun and be around your network. And then review your network for relevance. So one of the things that I do quite religiously is every quarter I will print off my connections from LinkedIn, because I want to know where are people playing, who's moved roles. It's going to tell me, and it's very good at doing that. But sometimes you need to refresh. So at the moment I'm writing my book for women, and women in leadership, and women who want to set up businesses. And what I'm doing at the moment is, okay, I know a lot of women who are in senior positions in corporate. I need to be reaching out to them and making those connections to spread and share that. So review for relevance. And think about when you're doing that, the frequency of contact you need to maintain with these people. What method? Are they still in alignment with your mission, your core values? You may find they come more into alignment. One of my mentors, who was in BT and a head of strategy, he's now left and set up a CSR organisation as well. Fantastic. You know, he's shifted more towards where my interests lie, and we can do some brilliant work together. Do you have a common area of interest? And then reconnect. So that's my website if you want to get in touch. I do coaching, I do advise people, and as I say, it's been a pleasure to be here. And thank you very much for having me, and I think we're right on time.
Yes, we are. Thank you so much. Any questions? Any questions? If you want to see her for coaching, please grab her, because I expect she's leaving shortly.
Got a question for
Yes,
Lara.
go ahead, please.
Lara, you talked about owning one's brilliance. Would you want to expand on, before you do the expansion, what do you think causes people not to own their brilliance? Is it how one has been raised? Is it education? Is it culture? Can you please?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Without fail, I would say it is upbringing, it is culture. So we are born with our innate talents and skills, and actually, you know, I normally use StrengthsFinder with people to look at where their brilliance is. Fantastic tool, StrengthsFinder 2. Go and buy the book, you get a code, you get a fantastic report. But when we work with people, what we find is their formative experiences in childhood. People are suppressed, whether it's by a teacher, whether it's by parents. Most people have the little voice in the back of their heads. And I remember one specific example that I use quite a lot is one gentleman I was coaching, and he's a speaker. But he was not giving his best because he felt he did not have the right, and it went right back. We did a bit of timeline therapy.